Ever since the news came out that KoTOR might be getting a remake, I've seen opinions of people who are excited, people who prefer they remaster the originals, and people who would like it if Disney would quote-unquote keep their filthy hands off my KoTOR. All of them understandable opinions. But what I'm interested in doing is, I want to assume that it is happening the way the Cinelinx article described. Quote, "It would be a Knights of the Old Republic project that would integrate elements from the first two games in order to bring certain things into the current Star Wars canon." It's a current canon take on the series. Now, I think we can all agree that despite being extraordinary games, especially for their time, KoTOR 1 and 2 were not perfect. The sequel certainly wasn't because the developers weren't allowed to finish it. So I want to get a discussion going. Assuming the rumors are true, and they are making an amalgamation of elements from KoTOR 1 and 2 into a new game, how would you personally envision it? Let's just say for the sake of this discussion that this is happening, KoTOR 3 will never happen, and this is the best chance we're gonna get for a new game. This is gonna sound weirdly optimistic coming from me, but just because it's Disney and EA doesn't automatically make it a certainty that it has to be absolute trash. So taking the elements from the first two games, I ask you, dear viewer, what would you keep? What would you remove? And what would you change? I always read comments, so you can tell me what you think there. You can also email me or contact me on Twitter. Afterwards, I plan to compile some or all and discuss them in a video. Party members are an easy target. I think we'll most likely see a whole new party, and conventional wisdom would tell us that we'll be playing as Revan. It might be wise for them to reintroduce Bastila Shan as well, but we only know that Revan has been made canon. Zalbar never struck me as a very interesting character, as he doesn't have much to say, but I would certainly like for them to take the alternate party members idea from KoTOR 2. I know a few people who would like to see Juhani get the boot, and I thought BioWare missed the opportunity to replace her with Yuthura Ban if Juhani had died. Some people would also like to remove Mission Veo, or at least make her older so they don't feel so much like perverts. There seems to also be a semi-hate boner for the Disciple within the community. And yes, maybe he didn't have such an interesting personality and or brought too much optimism to our grimdark, but he did have interesting things to say. HK-47 is too much of a fan favorite for them to pass up on, I'd say. The elephant in the room is Kreia. I think the best that we can hope for is that they take another page from KoTOR 2 and have one or more of your party members betray you. Or they can bring back the influence system and have the story have a moment where if the influence with your party member is too low, then they might fight against you at a crossroads moment of decision in the story perhaps. But I digress. Kreia. I don't think they're bringing her back, and even if they did, without Chris Avalon they run the risk of people rejecting the game outright for that sole reason. Will they bring in a Kreia Light character? Would you want them to? I think a Jolie type character would be more up their alley. What about other story elements? Can they really pull off the big reveal of KoTOR 1 again, or is everyone pretty much aware of it? People who are 13, 14 years old today and are Star Wars fans might not know, so maybe they could do it again. The mass shadow generator, or just the ethical implications of knowingly killing your own troops to end a war. I would very much like it if they kept that and the hints that Revan used it intentionally to both end the war and the Jedi opposed to his revolution. But hey, there's tons of stuff that can be done. I thought that maybe it'd be a good idea to remaster the first two games and then make a new one. I mean, it'll certainly help with public relations, but they're probably worried about it cutting into the profits of the new game. And it seems like Disney would rather the extended universe be forgotten. But that's not gonna happen as long as we have anything to say about it. But like I said, new doesn't necessarily mean crap. I'm gonna keep thinking about this, make some notes. I hope you consider doing the same and telling me about them. Just remember that whether this game happens or not, all will end well. I'd say maybe in a week's time, we'll all come together again on another video where I highlight and discuss all of your thoughts. So until then, peace.